Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
I'll be back.
Boom, we are back.
Hi.
Sorry.
Flashing.
It's episode 26 of the 2 Minute Terminator, where we take apart the Terminator bolt by bolt, screw by screw. Episode 26, that's 52. No, it's minute 50 to 52. That's the 2 minutes we are going to talk about.
Da-da-da.
I'm Ethan McKinley, actor comedian. You can find me at ethanmckinley.com.
I'm not even going to ask him. I'm not even going to say it
Don't
jokingly.
do it, Joe.
I'm not
Don't
going
mention.
Don't do it. Give
Who
you
are
a
you-
knuckle sandwich.
Who are you, Ellie?
I'm Ellie Fitzgerald, aka John Connor.
And I'm Joseph Tucker. Hello. This is 2 Minute Terminator. Ethan's not in another film. Let's just focus on Terminator.
The film in hand.
Yes,
The
thank
film.
you.
Not arthurandmerlin.co.uk.
I'm really excited about this one. This has got like
So
so
am
many
I.
new characters in it this episode. I thought we were getting lost in that
Oh,
fucking
listen
car
to him.
park.
He's all excited.
I
Actually,
am.
these characters
I
have
am.
actually been in it. Episodes you were involved in.
Oh, I was.
Well, it's
crap
new
on
to
that.
Joe.
Didn't
We've
make the
met
draft.
Lieutenant Traxler, the lovely, played by the lovely black character
If
actor
not lazy. Lovely if not.
Paul Winfield,
Who was also
sadly
in Star
passed
Trek
away.
2 Wrath of Khan.
Yes,
Oh
he
my God,
shoots
yes.
himself.
He
Dude.
got
He gets the thing in his
he
ear.
gets the thing in his fucking ear,
and,
man.
then he fights the his I guess, oh god, what is it? The power of suggestion. He shoots himself with his phaser, doesn't he?
He does.
What a- Isn't he
That's a
also in
great
Star
movie.
Wars? Isn't he in Star Wars as well?
No, that's Sam Jackson. How dare you?
He's like Star Wars' biggest fan.
They all look the same to me.
Lando.
You shouldn't have laughed that hard at
You
my,
didn't hear that.
my ironically
apologise to my
racist
co-host.
Obviously, black people don't look all the same. We know that's the Chinese. No,
Although weirdly, white people do.
we all look the same too. Did you know?
We are all
You
the
look exactly
same.
like John Connor.
Do you know that
It's
in
true.
China, right?
Separated
When you're in China, Chinese people think white people smell really fucking funky.
Because it's the meat and stuff we eat.
It's dairy and
Yeah.
cheese. We smell like cheese to the Chinese.
I love cheese.
Well,
Sorry.
this podcast is cheese.
Ellie, do you know that in China next year they're introducing something called the CS 3.0, where they're going to upgrade and everyone in China will start using 3 chopsticks in one hand rather than 2.
Whoa!
You told me that weeks ago.
I can't even use 2
And
chopsticks.
that's to battle what exactly?
It's just like every 800 or 900 years they kind of like they start off with
What,
one
develop
chopstick.
another finger?
No, but they're so dexterous with 2 chopsticks now that it's easy for them to use 3.
Well, didn't we circumvent all this with knife and fork?
Well,
the
Knife and
technology
fork.
improved enough that
it's
you
funny
didn't
you
need
mentioned that because in America there's like the Tea Party and the right wingers over there. They're like concerned that this is going to spark a cutlery war, increase food production to a point at which the world won't be able to keep up with it.
What?
They're going to start putting batteries in forks so to keep up. In China,
What will the battery do?
They
in the
already
fork?
had that
Spin it
spinning
round.
fork. No, but they already made that for
No,
the
but they're
pot
gonna do it
noodle
en
thing,
masse.
didn't they? If you collected enough.
none of that's true.
We've
Everyone
really
knows.
gone from the point, guys.
Well, we haven't really, because if everything becomes that automated in the future, we'll just be like brains in jars. You can't spin some pasta or noodles onto a spoon with a fork with your own hand.
Says Mr. I fucking love gadgets.
Imagine artificially
You
intelligent
love
cutlery,
gadgets.
I do.
man. That'd be intense.
She speaks the truth.
So Sarah has been, well, at the end of this scene, the Terminator is mysteriously missing from his car, though battle damaged, and Kyle is arrested, and Sarah stops and goes, "I'll
saves
kill
his-
you."
Yeah, she saves his life.
Essentially, yeah, because he was going to take on.
She saves the future. She's already saved the future.
Mother
LA
of the future.
LAPD's
Is that your
finest.
phrase, Ellie?
Yes.
Mother of the future.
Yeah.
No one else in Terminator culture uses the phrase "mother
Never.
of the future"
She
to
is the
refer to.
mother of the motherfucking future.
That's you.
I might make a
You
rap.
did that.
It's also in the next scene when they take Sarah into the police station. Apart from Lance Henriksen, the James Cameron regular, and I guess genre superstar now that we all know him for from sci-fi and horror, and Paul Winfield from that Joe just jumped in with. Correctly, of course, in Star Trek 2. We've got Dr. Silverman, who plays a large part in the second, and he's also a small part of the third, isn't he? He's the
He's
one
in
that,
Yeah.
all of the movies.
he ruined Sarah's life.
I
by
love
putting her in
his.
the
I
nut
love
house.
his opening line. Like he comes in and then she's
Oh,
like, "Are you a
yeah.
doctor?" And he's like, "Oh, criminal psychologist." It's 4
Hi,
in the morning. You're
Sarah.
another nutter I'm having to fucking deal with. Jesus Christ! I'm not
who's he
paying
played
enough
by?
for
Have you got the IMDb up there?
I do. He's played by Earl. Is it Bowen?
Earl Bowen.
Earl Bowen.
What else has Earl Bowen been in? We've deviated a little bit from the format of late because we haven't mentioned any of the bit. Well, there hasn't really been bit part people in, but usually we like to give them their like time in the sun. And if there's like a garbage man or a one-liner or somebody walks by that has something significant to do, like the guy that was pushed off the telephone when the Terminator arrives to check the phone book, we like to give them their little moments. So
We do indeed. Let me just get up the...
this guy's not really a bit part actor, of course. He's a big
No.
part of this story. But let's talk about Earl Bowen.
Okay, let's just bring up the Terminator
IMDb would have been
franchise.
fine. You were on the best page.
Yeah, but it only had Terminator stuff on it.
I'm also quite happy that I kind of I don't know a lot about Terminator. I'm a layman when it comes to Terminator, and I think Terminator 1 features one of the best or worst names of a character ever, and that's Ginger Ventura, who is Ginger Ventura, who is part of I don't know. She's Sarah's mate, right? Who
She is
in
yes.
this 2-minute sequence. When she asks to see Ginger's body, the cop tells her that her body's so burnt to a crisp there's nothing really left to look at. I assume murdered by Terminator.
Well, she doesn't get burnt. We did actually do, I guess, 1.5 episodes devoted just to Ginger exclusively.
We did. She was an aerobics instructor.
And she was shot, I think, 7 or 8 times in the back by the Terminator.
Where did they get the name Ventura from?
Ace?
Well, no, but
Jesse?
yeah, but like it's pre-Ace Ventura, right? Is Ventura a real
Ventura
surname?
Avenue in LA.
It must be, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Earl Bowen. He was born on the 7th of November 1945. He's 69. Born in New York. Let's have a look. I don't want to know how tall he is. Let's look at all his filmography.
He's obviously in Terminator 1, 2, and 3.
Actor. He's in quite a few. Oh my god. He's in video games? That's
Interesting points out that in this
mental.
2-minute sequence, Sarah stops. What's the guy's name? What's the guy who came back from through time?
Kyle Reese.
Stops Kyle
Oh,
from jumping out of the car and shooting the cops. If he'd done so, of course, the movie would finish there and then, because he'd be dead, and then she'd be arrested, and that would be the end of the whole thing.
Do you want to take a 2-minute break to speak to your aunt who's just arrived?
I don't really want to.
I don't think she'll just burst in.
Because
Part of the show.
She's not. Now we're whispering.
Oh, I see.
Should I go through?
Yes, he's done some episodes of Wonder Woman.
I'd
The
like
Taming
to.
of the Shrew,
Which version?
the 1976 version.
Oh, obviously.
Did
He
you say
was a-
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Wonder Woman TV series.
Who's he playing Wonder Woman?
Shaka.
Whoever
the fuck that is. In
What's
1977. What's happening? The Streets of San Francisco,
Michael
1972
Douglas
series.
and Carl Malden series.
Indeed.
Did you not have a life in order to just fill your mind with all of these bits
When
of
your parents
information?
divorce at 5, you get raised by television.
Cable guy.
It's pretty impressive, Ethan. I didn't realise that you had this kind of encyclopedic knowledge of absolute
doesn't
crap.
actually have a
if you want to
personality,
do a
he
film
just-
podcast, I'm your man. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm the internet.
Is it just like names, dates? Is it just like the
No.
CV of every person that's ever been in a movie ever?
Essentially, yeah.
That's
But,
what
I
it
mean,
is.
That comes in handy.
He even watches and downloads like new movies that come out that he doesn't even like. He actually downloaded and watched
Physical violence.
fucking 50 Shades of Grey.
Really?
Yeah.
Who directed Short Circuit?
Short Circuit was directed by John Badham. Now look that up.
Wow, I'm gonna look that up.
Short Circuit, of course, is directed by John
You will
Badham.
never catch him out.
John
What?
Badham.
He's
was
right.
one of the most prolific directors of the 1980s. He did Blue Thunder. He did Bird on a Wire. He now actually does episodes, I think, of CSI Miami of late.
Is that right?
He's a really good, really good director.
That's impressive.
Short Circuit, the score was by David Shire, who was kind of a composer from the 1970s who dipped his toe in the world of electronic scoring. It's a really nice score to Short Circuit. Stars Ali Sheedy and Steve Guttenberg.
Wow.
And
Guttenberg.
Fisher Stevens, weirdly for the time, played an Indian computer tech.
I remember
but
the character. Yeah.
Fisher
yeah.
Stevens is a white guy.
Is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, Short Circuit, 1985, released by 20th Century Fox.
Is it true that they're doing a remake of Short Circuit?
I'm probably wrong, but I think Short Circuit was one of the few films that was made by Star Partners 4, which was connected to, I think, Columbia. That is probably wrong, though, but I think they're part of the Cinema Research Corporation, which was a small film company that released also Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had no idea that Airplane had a sequel.
Yeah, Airplane 2, the sequel.
Dr. Silverman was in Airplane the sequel.
Yeah.
And he was in The Man
Ooh,
with Two
see,
Brains.
you caught me out on that because I didn't know he was in that.
Antony and Cleopatra. Oh my god, he's seriously.
John Badham.
You know how before we looked through and we just could barely find any films or anything that these characters have been in. This guy, I've literally had to scroll down.
Noticed something.
I don't know how many.
Joe
times.
has a significant question.
In this scene, there's someone in the back.
Lance Henriksen.
Does he have
Who's
a
in
speaking role in
Aliens?
this movie?
He does, yes. He was actually going to play the Terminator before they started shooting, and when Arnold Schwarzenegger met with Cameron, Cameron wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Carl Reese part, but Arnold wanted to play the Terminator. But when they actually physically met, they were both thinking Arnold wanted to play the Terminator, but I think James Cameron was too polite to say it, and so was Arnold. But as it transpired, Arnold wanted to be the Terminator, and he got the part. Up to that point, the person to play the Terminator was Lance Henriksen.
That's interesting.
Because they wanted just a regular dude that could come out of the crowd and kill you, which I guess is a better idea, but obviously more visually and comic booky, I guess, to have a giant Australian bodybuilder to play the Terminator.
You said Australian then.
Austrian. See? I know John Badham, but I don't know what country Arnold Schwarzenegger is from.
Well, I said German in an earlier episode.
Well, German isn't, because Austria is obviously different. It marries up to Germany geographically, but isn't the same place.
Any other famous Austrians that often get mistaken for Germans?
No. Oh, well, actually, they kind of explored in the sequel, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, that the Lance Henriksen idea, didn't they, in a sense, when Robert Patrick played the regular-looking, unassuming-looking Terminator, but obviously very scary.
Earl Bowen was also in Pinky and the Brain.
Is that right?
Voicing, really. Yeah. Oh, he did voices in Batman, the animated series, too.
No, he doubles as a animated mouse.
I can think of three famous people who are Austrian who often get mistaken for Germans.
Go.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other guy we just said, who did
Hitler.
we just say? Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And
the other guy.
and the lady who just won Eurovision who's got a beard.
Oh, she's Austrian? He's Austrian?
Vita Wurst?
Vita Coconut water?
Wurst. No, her son is Wurst.
Vita Wurst?
No, it's not Vita.
The first singer ever.
Earl Bowen was also in Naked Gun.
Wow, I'm not noticing any of those things. So
I
they're
know.
always like swinging my giant movie knowledge dick, and I've just
Conchita Wurst. I think she's Austrian.
Conchita Wurst.
Yeah, I'm one in 2000.
I guess she's called Wurst because she had her Wurst cut off.
No.
He was in Marked for Death.
The Steven Seagal classic, 1990.
Love Seagal.
And Matlock.
Such a dude. And Matlock.
Matlock!
This guy has done so much.
He's a good jobbing actor.
Baywatch.
He's the opposite of me.
Literally.
Although, having said that,
Murder, She Wrote.
he's not in Arthur and Merlin, The Legend Begins.
What's Alien Nation?
Yes, I got it in. Alien Nation is a fish out of water crime drama where aliens, a bit like District 9, they find an alien ship. It comes to Earth in Earth's orbit. They get the aliens off the ship and they have to integrate them into society. And this guy is married up with a police partner. James Caan is the human cop, and it's them overcoming their differences. It's a kind of like racial parable. It's a good movie, actually.
After Ginger Ventura, who's played by Bess Motta. After
episode 18.
After Terminator, that was kind of the peak of her career. After that, her last credited role was as a woman at a car wash in a TV movie, Broken Angel.
But if you look at her other CV, she's actually quite famous for having her own TV show about health and fitness and aerobics. She's one of the aerobics pioneers. You did a whole show on her.
It's 6-minute abs.
We love Bess. Well done, Bess.
So you did a whole episode on her?
We did indeed.
Cool. That's cool.
Can I just say one more thing about Earl?
Of course. It's actually
he's blowing my mind.
episode 15. 14 when we talk about Ginger. Bess Motta.
But yeah, I couldn't remember where I remembered Earl from the most, aka Dr. Silverman, and he was actually
from Terminator.
Well, apart from this, he was
Terminator
actually in
2?
Star Trek: Next Generation.
Yeah.
Who was he in that? Buried under layers of makeup.
He was
a Kardashian ambassador or something.
Nagalum.
Nagalum. All right. He was in one episode, so you'd have to be, I guess, Star Trek superfan. He's been in an episode of Alpha.
No, but I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid, and I just remembered seeing him. I was like, I swear I've seen him in something else from my childhood, and that must be it.
I love Star Trek.
I used to love Star Trek.
And then what happened?
I loved the original Star Trek and then Star Trek Next Generation. I kind of liked a little bit of Voyager, but that was mainly for Jerry Ryan, aka 7 of 9, who was the ridiculously hot, like half human, half Borg.
Probably the
She's
robot I would like to
man.
fuck the most.
Dude, seriously, she is so hot. If you don't know who she is, Google Jerry Ryan.
7 of 9. Like, everybody knows who 7 of 9 is. Which robot would you like to fuck the most, guys? Asking the crowd.
A fembot.
Probably 7 of 9.
One
What's
of the
a fembot?
fembots from Austin Powers.
Oh yeah, okay.
There you go. I win.
No,
How
I
do you
don't
win?
think you do.
And because I win, listeners, I have a chance to tell you about arthurmerlin.co.uk.
Oh no!
A movie I'm in
I'm
called...
going to choke you with your fucking mic in a minute.
It's not even.
You'll just hear...
It's not even good.
Anyway, thanks for listening. If you want to send in any photographs or audio clips of questions and things we've overlooked or stuff you think we're going to overlook in future episodes, send it to 2minuteterminator@gmail.com. That's the number 2minuteterminator@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at 2T, the 2 Minute Terminator, the podcast. And send us some love. And we'll see you on the next...
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm stupid in my head. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.